All right, welcome in, folks. I think we're live here. Let's see. It's coming up on my computer screen here. There we go. All right, I think we're live now. All right, good to see you out tonight. Hope you've had a great day. Like and share this video. We're coming to you live again tonight with some updates on everything that's going on. The video went really good last night. Had a lot of viewers, a lot of shares. We put it on YouTube. It's got a lot of views there. And here's the basis of it, folks. Here's what my biggest thing has been. My biggest thing. I'm just trying to get you good information. I don't want fake information. I don't want to give you things that aren't true. I don't want to give you things that are false flags. I don't want to give you things that are, purposely being said to, just spread around and disseminate negative or bad stuff. So I just want to give you good stuff. So many of you have reached out to me today, said that you enjoyed the video. We're gonna just start doing this some, not all the time. I'm a preacher. I'm a pastor. I am a God-called preacher, and my job is to propagate and to spread the gospel, not this kind of stuff. But I do feel like this stuff is important, and I have been adamant about wanting to get to the bottom of some things because we are living in some weird, strange times. And so I just want to give you what I have researched today. We kind of took a little bit of a break today. This morning, I just kind of, deprogrammed and defragged and just relaxed and didn't look at any of this stuff. Just, enjoyed some time with my kids and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to give you some stuff that I have found today that is very interesting. And I'm also going to give you kind of where I am with this whole thing. And some of you aren't going to like it, but I'm just going to tell you kind of what I feel, my opinion. So I'll tell you what's fact, and I'll tell you what's opinion. But at this point, folks, I cannot stress enough, you have to verify everything. I don't care. Listen, I have had 3 calls today of people who've given me insider information. I think it's accurate. These people, I know them. They have no reason to lie to me. The people that they talk to, and I'm not talking about a friend had a friend had a friend had a friend. I'm talking about these people knew somebody that was directly involved in something or knew something and all that. But everybody has that. And so I believe these sources that I'm hearing, these people who are calling me, I believe them wholeheartedly. But I'm not going to tell you about it because I can't verify any of it. And I'm only giving you verified information that you yourself can easily look up. And a lot of this even coming from government websites. All right, so let's go through today what we found today. First of all, on top of what happened yesterday and the video that we made yesterday, we find out that the 15,000 troops are now moved into Washington, D.C. We knew that. There's 15,000 troops. We're going to be talking about why I think there's 15,000 troops in Washington right now, but there are confirmed 15,000 troops. These are National Guard, okay? I confirmed this morning that in a state of national emergency, if it's deemed necessary, the National Guard can be armed. We weren't sure about that yesterday, but we did confirm that in cases of national emergencies, which D.C. now have a declared emergency, the National Guard can be armed. It happened in 2001 with the terrorist attack, okay? So they can be armed. The debate right now is whether or not they're going to be, but from what I'm hearing, it really looks like they're probably going to be at least have some weapons on standby, but more than likely they're going to be armed. And that has happened before in the past when there's been an emergency or a pending attack. 2001, the terrorist attack, 9/11, all that kind of stuff. So these National Guard are actually coming in and they're swearing in as special police for the Capitol. What we found out today is that the D.C. Capitol Chief of Police has now resigned. He resigned. We also found out that one of the officers involved in the Capitol riot or raid, whatever you want to call it, he's now dead by suicide, which is awfully suspicious. It is confirmed. You can look it up, guys. We have all the documentation here. Everything we're saying is stuff that's been fact-checked. He's dead by suicide. We also found out today Man, this is crazy. This is where it gets scary, okay? We also found out today that Project Veritas released a video, a bombshell. You can go and look at it on their Twitter. Project Veritas, they've done a bunch of stuff on abortion clinics and all this kind of stuff. They just released a video today showing their director, Michael Beller. I think I'm getting that right. Check and see his official position. I didn't write his official position down, but he was a high up at PBS. He was high up at PBS. PBS is a tax funded. It's partially funded by our tax dollars. This guy, his name's Michael Beller, PBS. Verify that for me, please, Johnny. This guy was busted. He got fired today because he was caught on camera saying that the children of Trump supporters should be sent to re-education camps. Confirmed. The dude saying it on camera, saying some sick stuff. Was caught on camera saying, well, you know, if Trump gets in again, we're going to go bomb the White House with Molotov cocktails and all this kind of stuff. It's sick. What was his official position? Okay. All right. Lawyer. It was a lawyer for him. All right. You can look it up. It's on Project Veritas. I forget exactly what his official position is. Then we find out that he talks about these re-education camps, and now you make a connection in your mind with what I'm about to say next. And the connection is very clear. He talks about these re-education camps, of course, talks about, you know, camps and concentration camps and all that, who's going to be in them. That kind of conspiracy stuff has been going on for years, and it's always in connection with FEMA. Well, this is what we found out last night. We found out last night that the Department of Homeland Security director resigned, and he was replaced. The guy that's replacing the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, as the director is also the head of FEMA. You can go and look at, that was on whitehouse.gov or state.gov. I can't remember exactly, but it's on an official government website. They put out a statement saying that the director of Homeland Security had resigned, and now his replacement is the head of FEMA. They've also, if you remember yesterday, you have to connect the dots. It's clear once you think about it. The director of FEMA becomes the director of the Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security, and FEMA was also the ones that are now in charge of D.C. in case some type of disaster or imminent attack or threat is on D.C. FEMA has been called in to help out with that. 15,000 troops. FEMA's there. The Department of Homeland Security director resigns. FEMA director is now taking his place. It's weird stuff. It's all happening this week. What's also interesting is Pelosi, once again, Nancy Pelosi was not in Congress again this morning. You can go and watch C-SPAN and see. She wasn't there yesterday, and she wasn't there today. Rumors have been going wild about why. I don't know. I've heard stuff that, well, you know, she's was arrested at the Canadian border trying to get, and then I heard others saying, well, she's arrested at the Mexico border. There's no confirmation about any of that at all. But it is, I mean, where is Nancy Pelosi? We're supposed to be having Trump's, articles of impeachment. That's supposed to be happening tomorrow. If she's not in, now listen, if she's not in Congress tomorrow, then something's going on. Why would she not be in Congress 2 days in a row with all this big stuff? If she's not there tomorrow, now she may be. I'm not making any predictions. If she's there tomorrow, then, whatever. We're just speculating at this point. But confirmed, she wasn't there yesterday, she wasn't there today, and if she's not there tomorrow, something's up. I'm not saying what, I don't know, but something's up. Let's see here. All right, we also found out Facebook today. Now this is dangerous. We also found out Facebook today says that they will remove anything about Stop the Steal. If you post about Stop the Steal in any type of positive way, Facebook said they're going to remove it. What we're seeing, folks, is the purge of conservatives from our society. We are seeing the purge of anybody considered right-wing conservative, purge from our society. I'm not talking about they're taking us out back and shooting us in the head, But what I am saying is that they're purging us. There are two banks that said they will no longer have any dealings with. They're closing out Donald Trump's account. They are purging them from the executive, from holding any type of executive positions in companies. If you're a conservative, found it to be, supporting Donald Trump, you get fired. They're losing their jobs. Students are losing scholarships. The media, Facebook, Twitter, they're banning people off of these social media platforms. We are seeing that in our society. They are trying to silence anybody that doesn't speak on the line. Anybody that veers off and starts supporting what they deem, right wing, whatever, they're purging that. It's very clear. Now, we not only find that all this stuff happens in the Capitol today, but on top of all that, we find out this. The CIA released earlier some files that they were supposed to, that they're, supposed to be putting out. They have several weeks, months even, but in the coronavirus bill, you can look this up. This is absolutely confirmed. They have 180 days to give out a report on what they have about UAPs. Now, what are UAPs? Those are better known as UFOs. The CIA put out stuff just today. You can go and look that up. It's right there online. The files are there. I've not looked at any of them. I don't know what they say, but they're out. UAPs stand for Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. That's how they're referring to them right now. And this is where it starts getting real weird. Now listen, I watched Trump. Trump went down to the border wall today and gave a speech. Where it got really just weird and, kind of disheartening for me, to be real honest with you, is that Trump came on today and he seemed defeated. He seemed, unless he was just, really putting on a show, he seemed defeated today. I watched his border wall speech. He stuck with, how successful it's been and the border wall and all that kind of stuff. We do know that this was the first time that he mentioned a Biden administration. He mentioned it today. He's been, in my opinion, he's been very cryptic about how he's phrased his statements. Or at least, let me say this, very careful not to say Biden administration or, whatever. But today he did. He said Biden administration. He even mentioned on 2 different occasions that things that he's implemented, he hopes the new administration, the Biden administration, doesn't change. He seemed different today, folks. I don't know why, but he seemed different today. Now, what we do know is that the 25th Amendment to remove Trump from office will not be invoked. Trump even said today, now this, well, I like this. This is what Trump said today in his speech. He says, the 25th Amendment is of zero risk to me. He says, let me pull out, my phone's acting up here. Let me pull up the quote. The 25th Amendment is of zero risk to me and will come back to haunt Joe Biden and the Biden administration. As the expression goes, be careful what you wish for. It's very interesting. I'm going to tell you what. Now, here's some opinion. Here's some Andrew Sluder opinion. I've said this from the get-go. I don't know what Trump means by that. All right, I'm sure conspiracy theories are going to run wild about what he means and all this kind of stuff. But I'm going to tell you, if I personally right now do believe that Biden is more than likely going to be inaugurated on the 20th. I really do believe that. At this point, I've been silent about how I feel about it. There have been things I've heard and all that, but I do think that Joe Biden will be inaugurated on the 20th. But I do not think that he's going to be president very long. I've said that from the get-go. I don't think he's going to be president very long. I don't know if they'll try to chalk it up to mental health, if he'll, die of a heart attack, whatever. I don't know. But I don't think he's going to be president long because, of course, if he dies, Kamala Harris is right there as the president, okay? So that's my opinion. I'm not prophesying. You had a lot of these guys saying, well, we know Donald Trump's going to be president for 4 more years. And if Donald Trump somehow, in some way, pulls this thing off or whatever happens and he's president for another 4 years, I will gladly get on here and eat my plate of crow cold, unsalted, all right? I'll eat it, every bit of it. I just don't think it's going to happen at this point. Things don't look like they're heading that direction. You say, why then all these troops? I'm going to tell you, let me get this one more piece of information. Now, this is interesting information. This is interesting. This is what Mike Pompeo is what makes me think that something's going on, okay? The dude's been on fire for the past couple of days if you've been following him on Twitter. And he said, he's been slamming Iran today. I mean, I'm talking about slamming Iran. He has been just going at it against Iran. And interestingly enough, now Iran and China are in bed together. No doubt about it. Iran and China are in bed together. Of course, Iran we had the Iranian deal under the Obama administration that was a complete and utter disaster. If you think Iran is not going to try to ramp up its nuclear program again under the Biden administration, you are crippled too high for crutches. Absolutely, they're going to try to do that. And so Iran now is being slammed by Mike Pompeo, and we've got it. We've got the documentation, folks. Iran is right now experiencing power outages, nationwide power outages. There's been buzzes. Listen, the one thing that I consistently keep hearing is this blackout coming. I don't know. If you're asking me if we've got like all these generators piled up, ready to go, we don't. That's how much I believe the blackouts are coming. But this is one piece of information, and one thing that keeps on coming to the surface are these blackouts. Iran is experiencing blackouts right now. They're saying that it's because of some of the stuff we've read is I don't even want to get into it because I can't confirm it. I can't confirm that. So all I know for sure is that Iran is experiencing power outages, and all day long, Pompeo was slamming Iran on his Twitter, talking about the Iranian regime and all that kind of stuff. Now, here's where I'm at with what's going on up in Washington, D.C. The 15,000 troops, the FEMA, the preparation. Oh, and Johnny, look this up. I forgot. Maybe I sent it to you. One more. This is interesting as well. This is interesting, super interesting. Just yesterday, they released, here it is. I'm going to read you this. This is from a statement from from Secretary Wolf statement from Acting Secretary Wolf on NSSE designation. The acting secretary, this was released on January 11th, so this was just released yesterday. Listen to this. The acting secretary released the following statement on the National Special Security Event designation for the inauguration of President-elect Biden. This is also why I think that Joe Biden's probably going to be inaugurated on the 20th, okay? So they're preparing for it. This is, quote, in light of events of the past week and the evolving security landscape leading up to the inauguration, and at the recommendation of Secret Service Director James Murray, I have instructed the U.S. Secret Service to begin the National Special Security Event operations for the 2021 inauguration effective Wednesday, January 13th, instead of January 19th. Our federal, state, and local partners will continue to coordinate their plans and position resources for this important event. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how to take that message. I don't know how to take that, okay? Because you've got stuff that's supposed to be happening on the 19th that's now happening tomorrow. They're going to start all that tomorrow. Why are they? Is it maybe it's for extra precaution? Maybe it's, some of the stuff floating around is that they're trying to hurry up and do the inauguration beforehand. I don't know, but I do think it's interesting that tomorrow they're supposed to remove Trump from office, they're supposed to put articles of impeachment in. Let me back that up. Put those words back in. They're supposed to present articles of impeachment and vote on it. And then also tomorrow they're supposed to, 6 days early, they're supposed to gear up for the Biden inauguration. It's just there's a lot of information out there right now. But I'm going to tell you what, you got something there? Let's see here. Yeah. It is confirmed. Mike Pence is not, they are not going to invoke the 25th Amendment, which means, so Nancy Pelosi gave the ultimatum that if they don't invoke the 25th Amendment on Trump, that they are going to, they're going to, impeach him, try to impeach him again, which is absolutely pointless, but they don't want him running again. See, if Trump gets impeached twice, he doesn't get to run again. He's done. And 2024 has already been buzzing around. And I know that I am going to get lambasted by some of my brethren and by some of the conservatives for saying that I think Biden's getting in on the 20th, but that's just where I'm at. Now, I'm going to tell you why. This is my opinion. I'm going to tell you why I think that they are having such a show of force at the Capitol. 15,000 troops, like I said last night, is absolutely unbelievably overkill. But what I think it is, I think it's a show of power. I think that what's happening right now is with bringing in 15,000 troops to Washington, D.C., I think that they are saying, we dare anybody. The Capitol situation that happened last week is already being called by multiple news sources and outlets, even our local news here, they're calling it an insurrection. The insurrection that happened. ABC News put out a special on it already. We saw it on Amazon Prime. The insurrection at the Capitol. They're calling it an insurrection. People sweeping in the Capitol building. If that had been others, it would have been called a protest and an act of preserving democracy and all that. But they're already calling it an insurrection. Those people are already being investigated by federal investigators. People are already being arrested. It is confirmed now. This 100% confirmed. People are being put on the no-fly list for participating at the Capitol raid last week. If they got your name and you were in there, they're putting you on the no-fly list. They are treating these people like domestic terrorists. Not everybody that raided that thing were domestic terrorists. There might have been some Black Lives Matter, agitators in there. We don't know. There's so much unknown. I don't think it was just a bunch of Black Lives Matter people trying to make the Trump guys look bad. I really don't. I think that those were some Trump supporters in there. But having said all that, they're treating them. You're going to see some pretty severe prosecutions come down on these people. You mark my words. So they're already treating that like it was some kind of insurrection and an attempt to overthrow the government. A bunch of people with Trump flags going to overthrow the government, all right? But I think that what this is in the Capitol happening now, I think this is a complete show of force. We dare anybody to come and try to do anything. And what will happen is if somebody does, they're going to be shot dead on the street as insurrectionists. This was a surge of rebels coming against us and all that. That's what I think. That's my opinion. All right, that's what I think is going on. It's a complete show of force. After January 20th, I don't know what's going to happen. Trump's words today were very ominous about Biden and his administration. So I don't know, but that's what we know so far. That is what we know as of today. Again, we didn't do a lot of digging. This is not going to be something I'm going to start doing on the regular. This will not be a daily thing. But the past 2 days, there's been a lot of information, a lot of things that have been sent to me, and a lot of people saying stuff that just wasn't true. And so I felt like that I, just needed to cut through some of the darkness, cut through some of the stuff that's being said, and just give you basic hard facts that can be verified. Okay, so keep looking up, folks. This week's going to be very interesting. Comment, listen, if you've heard stuff or not even heard stuff, if you have some verifiable stuff like, hey, this was this news article, or this was from the New York Post or New York Times or whatever, or hey, this is on the government website. If you have stuff like that, send it to us. Honestly, send it to us. Put it in the comment section. Like and share this video. Get the information out there. This is verifiable, true information. Get this stuff out there, okay? But I'm telling you, I think that Biden's getting in on the 20th, and we'll talk more about that as the time gets closer. We get more. We'll do more of these. It's just not going to be frequent, folks. I'm a preacher of the gospel. That is what I'm called to do, not to report news. But listen, Jesus Christ is our only hope. He died on the cross paid for our sins, was buried, rose again 3 days later, and the only thing you got to do to get saved and born again, to make sure you're right with God, to go to heaven, is put your faith and trust in Him and in Him alone. He is the only hope for our nation in these trying, dark times. And I'm not looking for anything but the return of Jesus Christ as the only thing that's going to fix this situation. And if that loses me views, so what? I don't care. That's what I'm called to do, is to tell you that message right there. You can be saved tonight. All right, listen, folks, I love you. God bless you is my prayer.